What a week to join us on Bills by the Numbers, where we let the stats tell you where the Bills are at. Yes, we're presented by FanDuel. Make every moment more. On the way, the Bills are trending up in third down conversion rate. We'll tell you what it means and why it's coming at just the right time. Steve will be quizzed on Bills' third down prowess, and what would an episode be without our one burning question? How loud do you think it's going to be at Highmark this week? Boy, is it a big week here on Bills by the Numbers. Bills Wall of Famer Steve Tasker, Bills insider Chris Brown with you, and it is Chiefs week, a team that has likely become the most hated franchise of the fan base of 31 other teams in the NFL. Main reason being, no one can slay the damn dragon. Winners of back-to-back Super Bowl titles in 3 of the last 4. We know Bills fans have grown weary of the Chiefs, but so has the rest of the league. How do you think Kyle Shanahan feels? Guys lost to them twice in the Super Bowl. But in trying to assess whether this year's iteration of the Bills is best equipped to finally vanquish their Kansas City demons, we first take a look at what could go a long way in helping Buffalo accomplish that feat. As we know, Buffalo is in a transition year with the large turnover of their roster from grizzled veterans to more youth and athleticism. Even the core of their team is appreciably younger, and all that turnover led to a growth process and development. The Bills aren't healthy, but neither are the Chiefs, so the question becomes, is the timing of this matchup in Week 11 coming at the right time in terms of the development that was needed for Buffalo to gel on both sides of the ball? Stephen A. Tasker.
I would say, yeah, they've had plenty of time, and let's think about, I think, when they met, say, the Baltimore Ravens in Week 4, even Houston in Week 5, they weren't the same team. Keon Coleman was being sparingly targeted. He wasn't part of it. Amari Cooper wasn't here. Now, while both those guys are questionable even for this game, this is an offense that has taken steps now. The 3 injuries that really worry you for this in the development process of the offense are Kincaid, Coleman, and Cooper. I mean, those are 3 dudes that we have found out can go. Now, Shakir's still there. James Cook is still there. Dawson Knox is still around. You feel like you've got enough to move the football. And, of course, you got Josh playing quarterback. But just as it has been a herky-jerky process, and we've never seen this team go full speed ahead, never clicking on all cylinders, guys, big plays, the whole thing, the offense that we've seen under Josh Allen. There's a lot of reasons for that, but some of it is the injuries and the development of the young players, and also the addition of Amari Cooper. All of that stuff in the mix, it's been hard to get a handle on who's going to line up, let alone find your identity, get some things you can depend on, and find out what you're really good at.
For a younger team than the one we've seen in years past, laden with a veteran roster, I marvel at how mature this team has been in weathering adversity, plowing their way through injuries, and significant ones at that, in terms of the caliber of player that has been out of games through the course of these first 10 games for the Bills. And look, they're not the only team that has to deal with them, but I'm surprised by the way in which a much younger Bills roster has just worked their way through that and taken this approach of, hey, I mean, Josh said it last week, we rock with who we got. That's kind of just how we roll, because nobody's feeling sorry for us, and we got to make it work. And you look at guys that have stepped up of late, Mac Hollins, the last couple of weeks, 9 targets, 9 catches, 116 yards, and a touchdown. That helps when you're down people that you've been counting on the last couple of weeks. So I think if they can continue to find those kinds of guys and tap into them as extra resources when you don't have your heavy hitters out there, hopefully it's enough to continue to win football games. If there is one area of Buffalo's game that appears to be trending up at the right time, it's their offense's third down conversion rate. Entering Week 8, the Bills' offense had a third down conversion rate that ranked 25th in the league at just under 34%. Since then, it has climbed almost 6% to just a hair below a 40% conversion rate on the season, now ranks 15th in the league. The last 3 games, the Bills' offense has converted 50% or more of their third down opportunities. And not surprisingly, it has aided in totaling 30 points or more in each of their last 3 outings, all victories. How important is it that Buffalo's offense is getting back to the third down conversion team that we have known them to be, with Kansas City as their next opponent?
Oh, I think it's the key element in their offense's development. And I think it is the one tangible stat that you can say this is a team that's finding itself now. They're finding Shakir, they're finding Kincaid, they're finding Knox, they're finding Coleman. All these guys are contributing, and Hollins, for everybody's getting in on it. Cook. They're finding out who they are, and they're getting more comfortable together. That is the one stat you can look at that says this is an offense that now they're getting. Josh knows who he's throwing to. He understands them. He trusts them. He thinks like they think, or they think like he thinks. That is the one stat that tells you this offense is becoming comfortable with one another on an individual basis. And I think no doubt that it's taken this long to get there, and it's a testament to how Josh has changed his game this season. That we've seen, and it's, even in his statistics, it's a different year for him. That is it, and that's the one thing that is going to carry this team through and will really allow them to, like I said, finally step on the gas in one of these games.
I know there are naysayers out there that want to poke holes in the 5-game winning streak and the teams that the Bills have beaten. In case anyone is wondering, the last 3 weeks in which Buffalo has converted at a rate of 50% or better, they have faced the 15th, 3rd, and 27th ranked third down defenses. So 1 softie, 2 decent third down defenses. Not surprisingly, what has helped is 26 of their 39 third down opportunities have been 3rd and 7 or less, and they've converted over half of those, 15 of 26, for better than 57.5% success rate. On 3rd and 8 plus, their conversion rate takes a big dip, but they made good on just 4 of their 13 plays for a success rate of just under 31%. The number to know here, though, is 2/3 of their third down opportunities have been 3rd and 7 or less. Right. That's a complete flip of where it was after their first 5 games. Fewer yards to gain would appear to be a critical part of the surge in success. Chiefs are just 19th in third down defense, but 6th in first downs allowed per game. How challenging will it be to stay in manageable down and distance on the money down against the Chiefs this week?
Well, their front is really good. I mean, their defense with Steve Spagnuolo is extremely well coordinated, and those guys play hard for that guy. And you see some of these teams that go hard at 100 miles an hour defensively. One of the ways teams get them to do that, and you've heard it here in Buffalo over the years, you keep it simple, let them play fast. Keep it simple, let them play fast. They don't do that in Kansas City. They bring everybody at some point.
Yeah.
They're bringing it's anything you can dream up for a blitz package or a pressure package. They've tried it. They do not go vanilla ever. They are very complicated, and those guys still go hard all the time. That's why this defense is as difficult to play against as it is, and that's why you're going to have to. I think it will be difficult on 1st and 2nd down, particularly if you get predictable at all, you're done.
Right. And to your point, the one thing the Chiefs do uncommonly well is stop the run. They're 3rd in the league in run defense. And so if you're going to be a run-pass team, you're right where they want you. So they'll stop you on 1st down, stop you on 2nd down, and then get ultra exotic, to your point, on 3rd down. We were talking to Chiefs radio color analyst Danon Hughes on our daily show, One Bills Live, this week, and he was talking about a double corner blitz that Spagnuolo drew up for the Broncos last week. Yeah. Bo Nix is like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
And he's on his back.
Yeah.
So
they get a sack out of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's just a small example of how if Spagnuolo can think it up, he's going to let his players run it because he trusts those guys.
They execute at a high level. There's no question about it. And I think he keeps it fun for them. That Spagnuolo, his reputation is that the players who play for him, he knows them personally. He knows their families. He cares about them. One of the things he does is he brings his wife makes food for the players, and whoever has the great game gets a big plate of this food. She makes food for them, and you're right. And the quickest way to a guy's heart is through his stomach.
Yeah.
It's
vouch for that.
He's a good coach because it starts with a relationship and being a person and a human being, much like we see Sean McDermott do here in this building. You want to get to know these guys. They don't know. It's like the old saying: they don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. Spagnuolo loves his guys, and they love him. So they've got this symbiotic thing going, and they play, and they're a hard team to beat, and that's one of the things that permeates their entire roster with Andy Reid. So so Spagnuolo dreams it up, and those guys work hard to get it right.
Yeah, in a given week.
And yes.
What's perhaps more impressive about the Bills is they improved their third down conversions of late by adhering to their mantra of everybody eats. Over the last 3 games, with 50% conversion rate or better, 8 different players for the Bills have contributed at least 1 third down conversion, with 5 different players providing 3 or more. Even on big plays, 4 different players have at least 1 play of 20 yards or more on a third down conversion in this 3-game stretch. How much harder does it make Buffalo to defend on third down with that level of widespread distribution?
Yeah, because here's the thing. When you're in third down, certainly you can dream up this exotic thing, but they've got a guy they go to. So if you send pressure, if you send extra people like 5 or 6 guys, you can't double team. And if you're going to do that, there's usually on most of the offenses in the NFL, there's a guy you're going to double. Somebody you're going to take away. You're going to pick somebody and you're going to take them away, and you're going to have to go somewhere else. Well, how do you even begin to pick who that's going to be when you've got 5 different guys snapping off 20-yard plays? That's a real difficult problem. Plus, if you get a guy like Amari Cooper or Keon Coleman and some of these guys out there, and Shakir, any one of those guys is a one-on-one nightmare on a third down. Yeah, it really that really helps, and this is where you get the true benefit of that everybody eats mentality is on these third downs, because teams always focus on the guy, the Steph Diggs, the Jamari Chase, the CD Lambs. They focus on those guys, and somebody else has got to do it. Well, in Buffalo, everybody has proven they're up to it. That's a real problem for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, if you're the Chiefs, you're probably focusing on Shakir on third down, and understandably so. He leads the team in third down receptions. But if you watch the tape from last week, Mac Hollins is making a huge play on a third down off script at the end of the half, and it leads to a field goal. Mm-hmm. Dawson Knox is catching a ball over his shoulder in the red area.
Over the top, deep.
I mean, so it's like, oh, geez, well, that guy can make a play. He can. Who are we going to,
Right.
So even if you feel you have Shakir locked up, it doesn't mean you've got the Bills dead to rights necessarily. So I do think it makes them harder to defend. And,
Absolutely.
And like we said, the Chiefs aren't lights out on third down defense. They're 19th in the league. So in looking at the 3 previous regular season meetings with the Chiefs, all victories for Buffalo, they converted at a rate of 45.5, 36.4, and 40% on third down. Collectively over those games, they were 15 for 37 on third down for a conversion rate of just over 40% against a top 3 defense in the NFL. That's pretty good. The Chiefs collectively over that same span, 15 for 35, 43% conversion rate on offense for them, slightly better. And this year, Kansas City leads the league in third down conversion rate at an eye-popping 52%. It's a big reason why the Chiefs also lead the league in time of possession, over 33 minutes per game. They also lead the NFL in third and 10-plus conversion rate at 32%, third and 6 or more conversion rate, and third and 4 to 6 conversion rate. Third and medium, 72 conversion percent. I mean, they're first in the league in 10-play drives, first in 5-minute drives, first in successful play percentage at more than 55%. It doesn't end. It almost makes you understand why the Bills have shifted to being a more splash play defense.
Absolutely.
Focusing on sacks and turnovers, because you can't play this bend but don't break defense against the Chiefs. They're too efficient. They're too effective. You need to generate negative plays or turnovers to have a chance at stopping them.
That's exactly right. That was one of the characteristics we thought and we saw in the Leslie Frazier defense of the Buffalo Bills 2 or 3 years ago. They were solid, hard to move the ball against, hard to score against, all of that stuff. Rarely spectacular. And then you look back,
it wasn't enough to beat the Chiefs.
And you couldn't beat the Chiefs.
Particularly in the playoffs.
Now you've gotten, with Sean McDermott calling the plays last year, you think about how that game ended, or the one just after that was when they bring Von Miller in. Von Miller forces a bad throw by Mahomes.
Taron
Johnson steps in for that game over. They get the late interception to end the game. Splash play. You get the same thing on the other wins. It's more about making a play on them in the right moment and taking an opportunity away than having a drive stall, drop the third down pass, or have it hit the ground. Now they're going to punt it away. No, you got to get the ball away from them. And in fact, that's been one of the key elements of the Bills' victories is their positive turnover ratio.
Yeah, and I mean, the Bills have takeaways in every game this season. It's the longest streak in the NFL. They have the highest turnover differential in the league, and they're second in the league in takeaways. If you're going to beat the Chiefs, your offense has to have more possessions than them, and the best way to do that is by taking it away.
Yeah, and that's also been one of the key elements of the Bills and the Chiefs matchup. When the Bills win, they're positive in the turnover margin.
We transition now to the numbers game, where Steve will be quizzed on third down Bills history. Fire it up!
Bills history.
Here is
Come on.
Question number 1, Steve. Since the 1970 merger, what Bills player has the highest number of receptions on third down in one season? Best third down receiver in Bills history since 1970 in a single season. Most third down catches.
Thurman Thomas.
It is not Thurman Thomas.
Andre.
It is not Andre.
Okay, no.
I will advise you to think about the ball being thrown more in the modern era than maybe the 90s. You know what I mean? Stevie Johnson, 30 receptions in 2010, a lost season in which the Bills went 4-12. Wow. But 30 third down receptions in 2010.
All right.
Question number, you eventually got there.
I got there.
Question number 2. Since the 1970 merger, what Bills player has the highest receiving yardage total on third down in one season? So we're looking for the guy that has the most receiving yards in a season
on
third down receptions.
Since when?
Since 1970. Single season. Who had the most?
Andre.
Not Andre.
Molds.
Not Molds.
Stevie?
Not Stevie. Somebody dinged it. It wasn't right.
They had more faith in me than I.
They were pulling for you, Steve.
Yeah.
They really were.
I can feel it. The most third down yardage
in a season. No. It is Lee Evans.
Oh, man, that's a good one. I should
with 488 yards in
bad.
2006, and he did it on just 22 catches. 488 yards. That's a lot.
Yeah, all right.
Question number 3. There are 3 Bills players since the 1970 merger that are tied for the highest total of third down targets with a perfect 100% reception rate. So all of their targets they caught in a season on third down.
Is there a minimum target in that level?
So, no, I'm going to give you the numbers. 22 third down targets, 22 receptions. There are 3 players that were perfect in a season in Bills history since 1970.
3 separate players, 3 separate seasons.
3 different players, 3 different seasons. 2 you should get, 1 you're never getting.
Since 1970. Jerry Butler.
Not Jerry Butler.
Molds.
Eric Molds in 2005.
James Lofton.
Not James Lofton.
Beebs.
Not Beebs.
All right, now I'm starting to go down there. Have I already said the guys?
You have. Well, you didn't. I should say you didn't guess it. I gave it to you.
All right, Lee Evans.
Yes, Lee Evans in 2006. And this last one you're not going to get, so I'm going to institute the mercy rule here for your sake.
Give me an error. Give me a range.
The year was 2000, Steve, when the Bills went 8-8 in their last year under Wade Phillips. And I'm promising you, I would bet any amount of money.
Quinn Early.
It is not Quinn Early. It's an also-ran player.
Who is it?
Jeremy McDaniel. Welcome to the drought era.
I would never have gotten that.
I would have bet $1 million.
Bless his heart. Forgive me, wherever you are, Jeremy McDaniels. I did not know you. I could never have pulled
22
your name out.
receptions on 22 targets on third down.
Jeremy McDaniel.
Yes. Question number 4, Steve. What Bills player since the 1970 merger has the most rushing yards on third down in a season?
Juice.
It is not OJ.
Thurm.
It is not Thurman.
Marshawn.
It is not Marshawn.
Spiller.
It is not Spiller.
Am I in the ballpark here?
No, you're at the wrong position.
Really? Rushing. Josh.
It is Josh Allen. On third down, he has the most rushing yards in a single season. 2021, he rushed for 269 yards on third down.
Dude,
and Josh Allen actually has the top 3 single season third down rushing totals. 269 in 2021, 226 in 2022, and 219 rushing yards on third down last season.
Yeah. Let me say this. I'm not going to get too much into this, and I talked to Brownie before we did the pod about maybe this would fit in. You got to tip your hat to Sean McDermott and Josh Allen this year. Josh Allen has transformed his game at quarterback. His statistics are completely different. Mm-hmm. The kind of strength that he's showing are completely different. He has that under the tank. What he used to play quarterback, the way he used to play quarterback, it's still there, but he has kept it under wraps. And the team's 8-2, and they are controlling games like we've never seen them. It's an amazing thing to watch. Both McDermott and Josh really deserve kudos for how they have transformed the philosophy of this offense going forward. Joe Brady as well, the way they run the ball, how much they run the ball, the kind of throwing they're doing, the kind of play selection they're doing, and the way they've shortened games and their efficiency. This is the most impressive season for Josh Allen. Given the context of his whole career, this is the most impressive.
How he has shaped his game and curtailed.
The most impressive transformation and shaping of his game to fit their philosophy and to help him win games at any point in his career.
This year, further proof of that, he is pacing behind his third down rushing total. He has only 71 yards rushing on third down this season.
And their third down conversion has dropped as well. But I think also we've seen
starting to trend up.
It's trending up now that he's starting to level up the players around him. Mm-hmm. And if they all get healthy at once and give it a couple of weeks after that, I think this team's going to be right where we want them to be headed into the playoffs.
Bills fans, get in on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Just download the app today to play any way you want. Plus, with live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Best of all, you'll get paid your winnings fast. Make every moment more with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the Buffalo Bills. We turn now to our one burning question. The Bills have recorded at least one takeaway in every game they have played this season and lead the league in turnover differential. It is the longest active streak in the NFL. How many takeaways do they need against the Chiefs on Sunday to make a victory likely?
Likely? Well, +2 is usually the magic number. So, yeah, I would say you got to go +2. I mean, you can turn it over 3 times, but if you get 5 back from them, you're going to be all right. We've seen a couple games like that on TV this year. I think you got to go +2 to make it to change the field. Mm-hmm. Both these teams can overcome one turnover against them, but 2. against these two opponents,
right,
it might be a little bit too much of a hole to dig out of for either one of them.
I am going to agree with you, and I am going to say that the Bills get 3, Chiefs get 1. And the Bills finish with 2 extra possessions for their offense, and I think it's the difference in the football game. Our closing figure deals with turnover differential. Buffalo, as we said, is a league-leading plus 13 in turnover differential. You might be surprised to hear that Kansas City is a minus 4 on the season. They have 12 giveaways in 9 games played, with Patrick Mahomes leading the way with 9 interceptions, although he doesn't have any in his last 2 games. The Chiefs have only 8 takeaways this season, less than half of Buffalo's 19, which is the second highest in the league. In the Bills' last 3 regular season meetings with the Chiefs, all victories for Buffalo. They are a plus 6 in turnover differential, with Patrick Mahomes throwing 5 interceptions in those 3 games. That trend will probably need to continue. That's it for us. Be sure to subscribe on whatever podcast platform you use so you know when our next episode is available, because when you need to know about the Bills, you need to check Bills by the Numbers. For Steve Tasker, I'm Chris Brown. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you next week, everybody.